Hello guys, this is Paula back again to show you one of my favorite things to do. It's not brain surgery or anything, but I love to paper piece, and I don't know if you guys do it or not, but whenever I do an album, I like to paper piece in the album on an envelope, and then I make a card to put inside. So this is the last thing I think I have to do for the little Red Riding Hood. I'm not Red Riding Hood, I'm sorry, Three Bears. But the pom-poms one. So let me know what you think. So it has the blue ribbon underneath, and I kind of left it on the edge there. I did have to stitch on here to make sure this didn't fray, because I didn't want to take a chance that, you know, it'd be covered up by the paper. And but I think you're right. I think it really turned out cute. Look at that. Look how adorable those little pom-poms are. So thank you for your help deciding on that. I'm going to finish this envelope, and then tomorrow I plan on getting maybe the book put together. We'll see. So this is my envelope. It's tea stained, and I love the design on it like it is, but you know, sometimes you just do what you do. So I kind of pre-planned this a little bit so it wouldn't be super long for you guys. But so what I'm going to do is I made a couple little tags, just, you know, out of the fabric that I had bound the book with. So that's really all I've made. And I cut some strips. You know, here's the fabric again, and here's a strip of paper that was in the album. So I'm going to start, and listen, my glue is definitely doing its last minute thing, but I'm determined to use it through this book. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I've already inked everything, so we didn't have to spend time inking, but I'm just going to, it's kind of like putting a puzzle together, only you come up with the puzzle. And sometimes I stamp on them, sometimes I put fabric on them and stamp. I try to leave a little border around the outside of the envelope. And I try to put different textures on here a lot of times. So it just depends. Depends on the day, or what I'm trying to think that I'm designing or something. I don't know how I come up with it, honestly. But I do try to make it look like it's one piece as much as I can. So I'll show you this so far. Now, I'm thinking that I will put this on here. This little journal card has a little stamp. I'm trying to see what this little stamp says. Okay, I thought for a second it was a Christmas stamp and I was going to have to change, but it's not. Okay, so I'm going to put this lace right here, and then kind of butt this little card up against the lace. So let's put it on first. Now, a lot of times I will actually not overlap this stuff, and sometimes I will. It depends on how much embellishments I'm using on it. And this time I'm not even worrying about whether or not they butt up against each other. I just really want it to, you know, just look like it has a border around it. Now, that's pretty simple. And usually I try to kind of layer it from bottom up, whatever I'm going to have on the top. If I decide to have a focal point, I will do that. Okay. so there we go. I have been working away. My husband's on storm recovery. My husband's an electrical engineer, and we had a major storm come through here today. And I don't know if we're out of the woods yet or not, but oh gosh, like 20,000 people are without power. My husband doesn't normally do that, but when there's a crisis, they pull in the whole company just about. And so I've been home crafting all day or all evening while he's been out taking care of everybody. I've got a piece of this ribbon's wanting to attack me. Okay, so I like this Johnson Brothers and Banking Company. Let's put that on here too. If we have enough time when we're done doing this envelope, I'll show you the embellishments that I have gotten done for the book. I wish I could have done them all on camera, but you know, time doesn't allow for that. It's pretty time consuming, because I've been working on this album for a week now, almost a week. So, you know, I'm not super fast. I'm not slow by no means, but you know, I just take my time. I don't have any reason to get in a hurry. That's what happens when you retire. You have no reason to get in a hurry. My daughter makes fun of me because she'll say, Mom won't drive on the expressways. Well, I do drive on the expressways, but I like to go the slow way, wherever things will lead me comfortably. So I'm looking here, and we're going to have a bare spot right here, but it's going to be covered up. And once we put our tags in here, we need to, if we need to cover up that back area, we'll come up with something. So I'm going to put this little mini envelope down, and I'm going to line it up with this paper and leave a little bit of a border. And I like that I've got glue all over me. You have no idea. I have been gluing like crazy, and this thing goes nuts when it gets low. It's going to actually leave these little circles that are underneath on the envelope right there, and I like that. And there's like 4 right there, so I think it'll be okay. Now, I'm going to glue this so that I can put a tag behind it. So you just want to glue down the edges of this little bag on the back. As soon as the glue cooperates, we'll get started here. You know, try to allow, I made kind of a skinny tag. And of course, I can't draw a straight line with the glue, but hopefully we'll have room. If not, we'll make our tag smaller. Okay. So, I'm trying to get the glue off my hands as I'm doing this. The glue is not cooperating today. All right, so you just line that up. And what this ends up doing is it basically is just turning the front of your envelope into an embellishment. And now, I've never used the envelope on it before. I mean, not the envelope, but the little bag on here before. And so that's something new for me, but I just thought it looked really cute. So now we're going to decorate the bag, and I found this little ledger card that I thought would look cute on here. And I've inked everything. So, let me get the glue going again. Sorry, guys. I think you all know how the glue doesn't cooperate. All right, so I'm just going to center this on here, just to kind of give it a border. And just put a little bit of blue to go with the book. The book is primarily blue, green, and pink. So I tried to stick, you know, with those colors. Every now and then there's a different color. But anyway, so that's what the color scheme is kind of different blues. And I've got this little faux leather circle that I thought I'd put right there. And excuse me, I'm going to get another wipey out of this bag because I am covered. It's because my glue is being disobedient. It's not obeying me. Okay, so pretty much, you know, that's what we're going to do with it. But I thought across here, maybe we would put some kind of saying. Let's just do something that's pretty generic, like rise and shine. I thought I'll put it on the opposite of this because I just think it looks, design-wise, it looks better. So there we go. Now, this little tag is, you know, just a little journaling tag, and I made a tab out of fabric, and it's going to go inside the envelope. Now, I hope this is dry enough in the back. If it's not, I'll pull it back out, but this little tag just has the months on it, you know, and years. Just a little tag. I don't even know where it came from, honestly, guys. So there you go. This is how the front looks. Simple, fast. Now, mind you, I did prepare for this ahead of time, but it didn't take me that long. I just grabbed a bunch of stuff, started piling it on there until I liked the way it looked. Now, I'm going to pull this out long enough for that glue to dry so it doesn't actually get stuck in there. And so then I'm going to push this aside, and I'm going to do just a very simple thing I do a lot is I will take an index card that's coffee stained. I went ahead and inked it as well. And I love this design. And I'm just going to put, sometimes I'll just put a piece of vintage doily or lace or whatever. This time I'm just going to put this little blue rickrack, and I think I need a little bit more, because I don't want anything to fall apart. Now, you don't have to like put it even with the sides of the index card unless, you know, that's how you want it. But my goal is just to decorate it so that when the recipient opens up the envelope, there's a pop of blue. And so let me bring it up so you can see. And so they have a lot of journaling space there. Of course, I got glue on it. I'm going to let these couple things dry, and then I'll use a blue, I'll clip it on a page, and I'll use a blue paper clip. So I'm going to let this dry for a minute while I show you, by the time we're done, we'll be able to put it together. But I want to show you some of the embellishments for this book. I know you all remember this from the tutorial I did a week ago or something. But I covered it in, the back is journaling area, and I covered it in doilies. You have to really glue it down for that to work. And then I left the hoe inside to journal. And it really cooperated and did well. I wasn't sure that it was going to work, but it really lays not perfectly flat, but it's real close. And so you guys remember this from our first video. I don't know where this came from. I was just, when we got on the video, I just started coming up with something. I I got the idea from Wendy, you know, where she just took journaling cards and covered the back, and then just used muslin to attach them to each other. And so that's what I did. And I know you guys saw this the other day. And I put a playing card and a tag right here, and I made this into a pocket. So this little envelope is also glued in. And yeah, I thought that was cute. And then I just made these two areas, journaling areas, and then some paper here. And it's supposed to close kind of like a spiral, I guess. On the back, I put some old doily, made a pocket out of it. Nothing fancy, and just put some blue trim. So this is the other side. This is the front. Yeah, so that was something I just thought I would use. And this is a time card. And I covered, you know, I know this is lavender, but it really does look good with the book. Some old vintage doily that I got, where I'm sure some little old lady cross-stitched, and I just sewed it onto, I glued it down the middle, and then I sewed it around the edges and just added some rickrack. And so they can journal on the back. So there's that. And a long time ago, I just threw some watercolor onto some watercolor. I made these cards out of watercolor paper, and I just blobbed, you know, some blobs on there, and just made some little leaves, and I, you know, I covered them in this coffee stain paper. So I'm throwing that in there because I had it made. And here's an old glassine bag, and I put a tab up here. It says document this. And then here's one of Gail's trying to remember what she calls them now. I'm Franken something. Tags, Franken tags, where I paper pieced with, you know, this is right up my alley because I love paper piecing. And then I just added coffee stain paper on the back and put it in this bag, which I'll attach inside the book somewhere. And then I did some simple things, like, you know, stories about three little bears. And so I just did this little house shape. It says, I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind, and touch the sky. And I just thought it was a cute little house. And then I did this little file folder that says today, and on the tab here it says priorities. And I just opened it up like it was a file and put a couple journaling cards inside. Simple but fun. And here's a mini tag. I just glued a little flag light and put journal and just, you know, some lace. Nothing out of the ordinary, just a simple little area to journal. And let me put that back in so I don't lose it. Okay, and I have one of Denise's little tags, and I made a very mini, small little, I just decorated the back of it, and it's just a little tag that's cute. And then these are the little, I showed you these the other day, where I put a Tim Holtz little girl on the front. It just opens up and has coffee stain. And then here's our guest check, and it says life. You know, it doesn't have to be over the top ideas. It's just enough that it decorates it. This says note to self on this little card. And I left the back blank. This is one of those little file cards. And this book belongs to, I put the blue lace. And this is life documented. And so they can journal on the card. And I may have to make more than this. I'm not sure till I get the book. This is Journey. So I just made the tag and rounded the corners, and it was the right color. Now this just came out of a, I don't know, I just had it. And so I just added lace to the top. It says Tell Your Story. I just thought it was pretty, and it would go well with the pink. And so this is a very old vintage old maid card. I mean, it's actually bent a little bit, and it's very, 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 the edges are really brown on it. And this just a little alpha, you know, for 3 bears, or the 3 bears. And a little mini tag. And I think it was yesterday that Gail came on and did a short video where you just take a piece of paper, fold it in half, fold it again, and so you glue the back down, and you just lift this, and then you have a whole journaling page. And I thought, I'm going to make one of those. That's so cute, and that's a great idea. And I know I've probably seen these somewhere before, but I just decorated the top, and then they can just open it and journal. So I made one of those, and then I just made this little tag where I added the same trim. And I put Live Colorfully, add a splash of color, which I felt like this does. And out of an old vintage children's book, I had this old picture of the 3 bears. And so I just made a tag out of it. Oh, I need to cover the back of that. I'll do that. Anyway, so I made 2 clips. They're nothing fancy. I just layered well, on the back is, on the very back is old vintage doily. And then I just did rickrack, and then I did lace, and then I did, these are vintage little flowers. I mean, they're so old. And then I just put a ruffle on here and just put some clear stones. And if I don't have enough, I'm going to decoupage with this. But pretty much that's everything I've got done so far. All the pages are, let me see if I've got the pages laying around. Hold on. Sorry, I should have had these over here. I didn't really plan on showing these, but we might as well since we are only 23 minutes into the video. Okay, I haven't, like I said, I haven't finished up all the edges, but I did this flip on the front page, and you know, added some lace and some fabric tabs. And I'll go through all this whenever I do the flip through, but stitched a lot of things. Here's a band, and added some coffee stain paper to this bag, which is going to need some kind of embellishment. Just thought that was different. And just, you know, fold out paper, tuck here in the corner, and I'm just going to flip through. This is wallpaper, vintage wallpaper, and this is a pocket here, and so is the wallpaper. And more tabs, but I'm going pretty fast because we'll go slower when I finish it. But just, I love this. Looks psychedelic. Makes you want to go listen to disco music. Then I just put the ribbon on, and here's another tuck on the left side. Here's another vintage pocket. Wallpaper, I mean. And so it pretty much is, you know, here is some old vintage cards, and then I put some pictures of the woods. I couldn't find anything with the bear, but I did find some the woods picture. here's another wallpaper pocket, and then a little mini pocket here out of 2 different wallpapers. And here's a ruffle. But anyway, this second signature is real similar. I don't want to show you it all right. Here's the woods. But here's another tuck, belly band, pocket. This is an old vintage story of the 3 Bears from 1944. And so I'm not completely finished with it yet, but I'm getting close. I've got to bind the book and get some of these things in order. And there's another double pocket, 2 different wallpapers. All right, guys. Well, that's the progress so far on the 3 Bears Little Golden Book. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you back soon. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you. Bye.